The Stone's Last Breath. A horror comedy murder mystery with a cursed necklace and 4 unlucky besties. Let's begin. Spring break. That magical time of the year when college students make incredibly poor decisions in the name of adventure. And no one embodied this spirit better than Sophia, Naomi, Claire, and Ava, 4 best friends who, for reasons still unknown to the universe, decided that a road trip through Scotland was the perfect way to unwind. No tropical beaches. No city nightlife. Just rainy hills, haunted castles, and an abnormally high chance of running into a ghost or two. They had been driving for hours when Naomi, the group's self-proclaimed vibe checker, noticed something odd. Has anyone else noticed that we've passed the same sheep like 4 times? She asked. Sophia, the designated driver and least observant human being on the planet, barely glanced at the road signs. Naomi, babe, that's just how sheep work. They all look the same. No, I mean. Oh my God, look at that creepy town. Claire cut in, pointing out the window. And there it was, Blackmoor. A town that looked like it had rolled straight out of a 300-year-old horror novel. The streets were too quiet. The fog was too thick. The houses leaned at odd angles like they were whispering secrets to each other. Most concerning of all? The people. Every single person they passed stared at them like they had just crash-landed from another dimension. Old men hunched over wooden canes. Women peering through lace curtains. A single child standing motionless in the middle of the street, whispering something under his breath. Ava shuddered. This is literally how horror movies start. And yet, did that stop them from stopping in the middle of town? Absolutely not. Because 4 brain cells shared between them weren't enough, the girls immediately walked into the creepiest-looking antique shop in town. Inside, it smelled like rotting wood and unresolved trauma. The air was thick with dust, and the dim lighting made every object in the room look haunted. Behind the counter stood the shopkeeper, an old man with a lazy eye and the general demeanor of someone who'd personally seen at least 7 demons. He looked at them with mild disappointment, like he knew they weren't going to listen to any warnings he was about to give. Then, without a word, he reached under the counter and slammed down a necklace with a gleaming green gemstone in the center. Take it, he croaked. For free. The girls exchanged glances. Ava, always the skeptic, crossed her arms. What's the catch? The old man didn't blink. Don't wear it at night. Silence. Then Claire, the human embodiment of bad decisions, grabbed the necklace off the counter and put it on immediately. The old man sighed like a man who had tried to warn some idiots before, but they just refused to listen. That night, the Airbnb from hell. Their Airbnb was an old Victorian mansion, because of course it was. The place was massive, complete with creaky wooden floors, flickering candle sconces, and at least 17 paintings of people who looked vaguely disappointed in them. At first, everything seemed fine. They made fun of the houses. Murder aesthetic. Cracked open a few bottles of wine, and spent an embarrassing amount of time trying to get the perfect Instagram photo. But then, weird things started happening. Sophia swore she heard breathing under her bed. She checked. Nothing. Just her suitcase and a single, lonely sock. Naomi heard a whisper in the bathroom. Help me, it said. Except, she was alone. Claire woke up outside on the lawn. In her pajamas. With a shovel. Ava took a selfie and saw a shadowy woman standing behind her. Except, when she turned around, no one was there. Still, like the rational idiots they were, they chalked it up to weird vibes and went to bed. And that's when things got worse. The next morning, Naomi was the first one up. Bleary-eyed, she shuffled into the kitchen and froze. The necklace, the one Claire had left on the table the night before, was now in her pocket. Ava, still half asleep, stumbled into the room. Morning. Why are you looking like you just saw a tax bill? Naomi pulled the necklace out and held it up. Did you put this in my pocket? Ava blinked. No. Did you put it in your pocket? Why would I ask you if I did? By now, the commotion had woken Claire and Sophia. When they entered the kitchen, they both stopped dead. Because the moment Naomi set the necklace down, it slid across the table. On its own. Complete silence. Then Claire cleared her throat. Okay. Follow-up question, can jewelry be possessed? Sophia, who was still 90% asleep, grabbed a banana from the counter. Yeah, no. I'm out. Have fun being haunted. That afternoon, they debated what to do. Option A, return the necklace to the shop. Option B, burn it. Option C, yeet it into the ocean and never speak of it again. Unfortunately, before they could agree on which terrible plan to execute, Ava picked up the necklace and immediately yelped. The stone was hot. Like burn your hand hot. Jewelry wasn't supposed to generate heat. Jewelry also wasn't supposed to hum. Ava dropped it immediately, but the second it hit the floor, the lights flickered. Somewhere upstairs, a door slammed shut. Then came the sound of whispering. Multiple voices. Whispering their names. Claire grabbed Naomi's arm. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. So we all agree that the necklace is haunted and we need to leave, right? Naomi's face was pale. Yeah. One problem. She pointed at the necklace. It was floating. They drive back to the antique shop first thing in the morning, ready to demand a refund, or at least an exorcism. But when they arrive, their stomachs drop. The shop is gone. Not closed for business. Gone. Not weirdly empty, gone. But literally vanished. In its place stands an overgrown, abandoned lot. A rusty sign hangs from a splintered wooden post. Condemned since 1874. Trespassers will be prosecuted, if they survive. Naomi, ever the logical one, reads the sign 3 times. That's a typo, right? Like a historical error? Ava, the skeptic, checks Google Maps. The shop still shows up. But it's marked as permanently closed, since 1874. Sophia, the one with the worst luck, waves down a passing old lady with a shawl wrapped tightly around her shoulders. Sophia. Hi, do you know what happened to the antique store here? The old lady's face goes pale. She crosses herself so fast she almost slaps herself. Old lady. The shop never existed. And if you were there, you should leave. Now. Then she sprints away. Like full-blown Olympic speed. Claire watches her go. Wow. Didn't know senior citizens could hit the Usain Bolt level of speed. Naomi. That was unsettling. Ava. Yeah. Let's do the opposite of what she suggested and go back to the Airbnb. Because horror movie logic dictates they must absolutely not leave yet. That night, Sophia wakes up with a horrible, suffocating pressure on her chest. She gasps. She claws at her throat. Her mouth feels dry, no grainy. Like she's choking on dirt. She stumbles out of bed, hands shaking, only to cough up a mouthful of black soil. Her body aches, like she's been buried 6 feet under and dug her way out. But her bed? Completely clean. No dirt. No mess. Like it never happened. Naomi, hearing the gagging, jumps up. Oh my God! Are you okay? What happened? Sophia, trembling, spits out the last of the soil. I think I was just buried alive. Claire stares at her. Wait. Like metaphorically? Or like literally literal? Sophia. Like. Literal. Naomi. Okay, nope. We're leaving. Right now. Ava. And tell the Airbnb host what exactly? Hey, your haunted necklace tried to bury my friend alive? Claire. Or maybe, hey, quick question, does this place come with complimentary poltergeist attacks? Sophia, still half possessed by fear and confusion, points a trembling finger at the dresser. The necklace sits there, glinting under the moonlight like it's laughing at them. Ava glares at it. I hate that thing. Naomi, ever practical, grabs the necklace and locks it in the drawer. They all agree to sleep with all the lights on. 10 minutes later, there's a soft creaking sound. They all freeze. Then a click. Naomi's eyes widen. No. No, no, no. We locked that drawer. Ava, the most skeptical of them all, cautiously walks over and pulls the drawer open. The necklace is gone. Claire. Oh. Fantastic. It learned how to pick locks. We should totally not be concerned. Sophia. Check the floor. They do. And there it is. Lying in the middle of the room. Rising. And falling. Like it's breathing. For a solid 5 seconds, nobody moves. Then Claire, who refuses to process trauma properly, blurts out. Maybe it's just catching its breath? Ava. It's a rock, Claire. Sophia. I don't want to die because of a necklace. That's like the lamest way to go. Naomi takes a deep breath. Okay. It's a haunted artifact. There's gotta be some kind of history behind it. Let's figure out what the hell we're dealing with before one of us ends up actually buried. Ava nods. Google time. Claire. And maybe we don't touch it again. Ava, who is an elite Google warrior, starts digging into every urban legend she can find. And then BM. She hits something. An old 1890s newspaper clipping with a headline that makes her skin crawl. Lady Eleanor Blackmore, the cursed heart of the manor. Sophia leans over her shoulder. Okay, that's a bad sign. According to historical records, Eleanor Blackmore was accused of witchcraft in the 1800s. The townspeople claimed she used dark magic to make herself beautiful and immortal. So they ripped out her heart and turned it into a gemstone. Ava. Okay. Cool. Just a casual murder, no big deal. Naomi. We're in possession of a dead woman's cursed heart. This is, objectively, the worst Airbnb experience ever. Claire, the brilliant one, suddenly grabs the necklace and puts it on. Before anyone can stop her, her body stiffens. Her head snaps up, eyes dark and hollow. Then, in a crisp British accent that is absolutely not her own, she speaks. Claire, possessed. Bury me, or take my place. Silence. Sophia. Bury you where? Naomi. Why did you put it on? Ava. Did you miss the part about the ripped out heart? Claire, still fully possessed, starts floating off the ground. Naomi. Okay. New plan. We burn the necklace. Now. Sophia. Before or after it kills Claire? Asking for a friend. Claire, hovering midair, cocks her head. You wouldn't dare. Ava. Watch me. The moment Naomi grips the necklace, the air in the room shifts. The candle flames bend toward her, casting long, jagged shadows on the walls. The stone, once dull and lifeless, begins to pulse with an eerie, sickly green glow. Then BM. A force yanks Naomi into the air. Her body convulses, her limbs twitching like a malfunctioning marionette. Her eyes roll back, and from her throat, Lady Eleanor's voice emerges, low and echoing. Lady Eleanor through Naomi. Finally. A body. Worthy. Ava screams. Claire throws a book at Naomi's floating body. Sophia, the only one thinking rationally, grabs a frying pan from the counter, because, clearly, kitchenware defeats ghosts. The necklace tightens around Naomi's throat. It's merging with her. If they don't stop it by sunrise, Naomi is going to become the new vessel for Lady Eleanor's spirit. Naomi, half-possessed, groggy. Guys. I don't want to be a Victorian ghost lady. They scramble for a plan. Sophia scrolls through Google like her life depends on it, which it does, but all she finds are questionable Reddit threads. Then, Claire gasps. Claire. We have to bury it. In consecrated ground. Ava. So, a graveyard? Sophia. Or a church, but I doubt Father Thomas would be cool with us shoving a haunted necklace under the altar. They grab Naomi, who is now speaking in Latin, which is unsettling because she failed Spanish twice, and race to Blackmore Cemetery. They arrive at Blackmore Cemetery at 2:47 a.m., because nothing good happens at 3 a.m., and they are just barely avoiding peak horror movie hours. Fog curls around the tombstones. The moon is unnaturally bright, like it's watching them. The iron gates creak open on their own. Ava, whispering, "That's a nope. Big nope." Sophia, "No time for nope. Dig!" They grab rusty shovels left near an old caretaker's shed and start digging. Dirt flies everywhere. Ava is mostly hitting rocks. Claire is questioning all her life choices. But then, the hole starts filling back up. On its own. Claire, "Are you kidding me?" Ava, "This is not how I wanted to die." The ground rumbles. And then, a skeletal hand bursts out from the dirt. Then another. And another. Within seconds, the entire graveyard comes alive. Skeletons, some still wearing tattered suits and dresses from the 1800s, climb out of their graves, their hollow eye sockets glowing with an eerie green light. The girls freeze. Then, one of the skeletons adjusts his bow tie and clears his non-existent throat. Skeleton, "Excuse me, but could you not dig up our eternal resting place? Bit rude." A beat of silence. Ava, horrified, "We just got scolded by a skeleton." Sophia, "This night is getting worse by the second." The skeletons slowly close in, cracking their knuckles, which is unsettling because they don't have flesh. The necklace around Naomi's neck glows brighter. She groans, her eyes flickering between her normal self and Lady Eleanor's possession. They have minutes before Naomi is gone forever. And now? They have a horde of undead with a personal vendetta. The air in the cemetery thickens. The shadows stretch unnaturally, crawling toward them like hungry fingers. Naomi, gasping for breath, stares at the woman materializing in front of her, Lady Eleanor. She's fully formed yet disturbingly decayed, a twisted contradiction. Her once elegant Victorian gown flutters in a ghostly wind, its lace rotting midair. Her skin? A horrifying patchwork of pale flesh and exposed bone. The worst part? Her eyes, empty sockets dripping black sludge, yet somehow locked on Naomi with terrifying intensity. Then, she has CREMS. A sound so inhuman that every nerve in their bodies demands them to run. But they don't. They can't. Naomi's fingers clamp around her own throat. The necklace is strangling her. The cursed emerald glows violently, its energy pulsing through her veins like wildfire. She chokes, her feet lifting off the ground. "Do something!" Ava yells, her voice 2 octaves higher than normal. Claire, still recovering from shock, stares blankly. "Yeah? Like what? Hand her a cough drop?" Sophia, ever the problem solver, makes a split-second decision. She tackles Naomi to the ground. Both of them crash into an old gravestone, dust exploding around them. But the necklace? It stays put. The cursed thing is practically fused to Naomi's skin. Lady Eleanor advances, her skeletal fingers reaching. Naomi does the only logical thing a person choking on a demonic accessory can do. She rips the necklace off her throat and YETS it with all her strength into a nearby crypt. The second the necklace lands inside, the crypt door slams shut on its own. Everything stops. The unnatural wind dies. The shadows retreat. The air returns to its normal weight. Even the awful smell, somewhere between rotting meat and expired milk, vanishes. Lady Eleanor lets out a shriek of frustration, her form flickering wildly, then poof. She vanishes, sucked into the ether like a bad special effect. The girls lie on the ground, panting. Ava, flat on her back, stares at the sky. "I swear to God, if this town has another haunted heirloom, I'm moving to a desert." Claire dusts herself off. "We should, bury it deeper. Or throw it into the ocean. Or fire. Maybe fire?" Naomi, still dazed, waves them off. "Nah, we're good. The crypt shut itself, remember? The curse is over." And just like that, it is. The sun peaks over the horizon. The eerie silence lifts, replaced by normal morning sounds, birds chirping, leaves rustling, a distant car honking in traffic. The town is just a town again. They exchange glances, realizing something. They survive. For the first time in days, they laugh. A mix of relief, exhaustion, and sheer disbelief that they actually lived through this. Big mistake. Because in the horror genre, no one walks away that easy. Just when they think it's all over, an old, hunched woman emerges from the fog. The same old lady from before. The one who ran away screaming. The one who knew something. She doesn't look relieved. Instead, she shakes her head, muttering something under her breath. Then she marches right up to them. "You fools," she hisses. "You didn't stop the curse. You just passed it on." The girls freeze. Claire forces a laugh. Sorry, what? Passed it on? Nah. The crypt thing, totally locked it up. Boom. Case closed. The old woman glares. You think it's that simple? Child curses do not end. They only shift hands. Silence. Naomi, pale as a ghost, no pun intended, clutches her throat. You mean it's still ours? The old woman nods. The necklace will return. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But one day, when you least expect it. She leans in, her voice a whisper. You will see it again. The girls share a collective look of dread. Sophia groans. You know what? No. Nope. I refuse to be cursed. Let someone else deal with it. Ava raises a hand. Yeah, seconded. Can we, legally transfer it to someone? Maybe do a cursed item giveaway? Claire claps her hands together. Brilliant! When a haunted necklace, warning, may possess you, I'll design the flyers. But the old woman isn't laughing. She gives them one last, knowing look before vanishing into the mist. Leaving them with one horrifying thought. This isn't over. Not even close. 1 month later. They're home. They've tried to move on. They pretend like the nightmare was a bad, weird fever dream. Life is back to normal. Or so they think. Until Sophia, brushing her teeth in her bathroom, pauses. Something feels off. She looks up at her mirror. Her stomach drops. Sitting on her sink, gleaming under the bathroom light. The necklace. The cursed emerald. Perfectly intact. Waiting. A chill crawls up her spine. She whirls around. No one's there. Then, a whisper. Soft, cold, right against her ear. It's your turn now. Sophia screams. Blackout. The end.